that we do with every witness appearing before us. There are a few paragraphs that I need to read so that you understand the purpose, why you are here, and what are the rights that you have. Honorable Minister, you have been invited to appear before this ad hoc committee, which investigates the allegations by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You have been invited to provide information in relation to the ad hoc committee's oversight.
On a point of order, Chair. Can I speak?
Yes, you can speak.
Yes. I thought, good morning, members, good morning, Minister, and people of South Africa. I thought the procedure will be that you hand over to the senior counsel, who will now present to you the witness before this committee and ask you to administer the witness' oath, because he would have satisfied himself that this witness before us is a rightful person who must be before us, and then hand him over to you for you to administer the oath.
Yeah, that is exactly what I did, Honorable Member. I requested the senior counsel before I administer oath to say, is there anything that he wants to say? He said he was satisfied, we could proceed. Unless you want him to read it into the record, I can once again give him that opportunity to do so. But I checked with the senior counsel if there is anything that he wants to do before I administer oath.
Yeah, that's a problem with our senior counsel. These things of law, they don't have a shortcut. That's what we spoke about even before the witnesses came before us, that the step-by-step includes the following. So he should have done what is expected of him. He can't say, I'm fine. He must say, before you, Chair, this is so and so, wara, 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 wara. I therefore request that you admit, you take and make him to take an oath before we can put him on the stand. Thanks.
No, it's fine. I note the concern. Let's not crucify him.
Yeah, where he had mentioned that this had been discussed in November 2024, you will recall that he was challenged on that because it hadn't been mentioned previously, and that General Masemola, the National Commissioner, said that there was no discussions about the PKTT at all prior to the Minister's directive on the 31st. We had since inquired about this and asked for minutes of meetings, and I am going to refer the Minister in due course to the bundle, no, not there, to volume 4, which is exhibit bundle 4, and you'll see there was a meeting on the 1st of November, and it's at pages 163 to 177. But we'll deal with it in a bit more detail shortly. That's the meeting, Minister, sorry, that you're referring to.
That's one of the meetings.
Yeah, there were 3 meetings in November. We asked for the minutes of those meetings. The only ministers which we actually received from the National Commissioner's office were the minutes of the 1st of November.
Yes.
So I don't know whether you can access the minutes of these other meetings.
Not yet.
It would be helpful if you could.
Yes, not yet, but we know we held a meeting again on the 22nd.
Yeah.
quite a larger meeting, and we had a discussion on this. I made statements in that meeting, which are in the minutes of the first. But I know I made statements also in the other meeting. The National Commissioner made statements in both meetings as well.
So just before we get there, before your appointment at the end of June of 2024, or shortly after, did you have any knowledge of the existence of the task team? When I talk about task team, I'm talking about the NPKTT. Yeah.
Well, I did in a way, in the sense that I would have served in cabinet from 2019, and there would be reports in cabinet with the relevant or from the relevant minister, and there would be other discussions, related discussions. But as minister, I'm above average about issues affecting government, because we do meet as cabinet from time to time, where you listen to other colleagues making reports or doing reports in various platforms inside and outside cabinet. So you get to be aware of what's happening in that department, even if it's not necessarily a department that you are heading. And in that way, I was in a way knowledgeable in that sense about the existence of some units, even though I couldn't name all of them at that time, as it were.
But you would have been aware of a political killings task team, in fact, when you were Premier.
Yes.
Or shortly afterwards, you gave evidence at the Morani Commission.
Yes, I was aware.
And one of the recommendations from that Commission of Inquiry was that such a team be established.
I was aware even before I became Premier in 2013 of what police were doing with violence and aspects of violence in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I know, for instance, that there was a task team that was established in the province in 2014. I know there was another one that was established in 2016. And I know that there was then this one. By the time this one was appointed in 2018, I was at that time working at full-time at Luthuli House, headquarters of the ANC, but I was aware that I was aware of those developments. That was before I got appointed as minister in 2019 in the first place.
Because the president made an announcement in the National Assembly, I think it was in May 2018, here in this National Assembly, that the situation warranted a special task team to investigate these political murders in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and they must investigate and bring the perpetrators to justice. Yes. I don't know if you were present when that announcement was made here in the National Assembly, or you became aware of it.
Well, I know that in 2019, the State of the Nation address, the president did make statements on the need for specialized units in subs to deal with what was happening at that time in the country, and that it was agreed that there would be those specialized task teams. Generally, and later became aware that indeed relevant minister did start processes of responding to the calls that were made at that time. So I know that there was a particular study that was gone into in that year, 2019, to respond on the call that the president had made that there is now a need to have specialized task teams, specialized units in subs to deal with various categories of crimes in the country in a much more coordinated, much more organized and resourced manner. And that study was indeed undertaken. But I know that when it was completed, already management of police, and I imagine with the minister leading, they were then entertaining ideas of saying, well, in 2018, we established another task team. We now have completed a study that seeks to rise above various task teams, which in their view were not necessarily impactful as they would have wanted them to be in terms of combating crime in the country. And they wanted to take the response of government as far as this is concerned to another level. Hence the study, hence then the decision to establish those specialized units in a coordinated way.
I think, would you prefer to call it a unit?
I prefer to.
Would you prefer to call the task team a unit?
No. I actually must express a worry that when Major General Van Rooyen was called, I think, to the Madlanga Commission, and she was asked a specific question, is there a difference between a unit and a team, task team? She, to the best of my collection, said there's no difference. I got very worried because throughout the orientation and so on, up to when I was given leave, there's always been a clear distinction between a task team and a unit. And as a practice in subs, the units become part of the organogram. And that includes that unit that was Katomena task team. I can't remember the exact term that they used, but that one was a unit, meaning it was part of the organogram. But this one, the political task team, has never been part of the organogram, including when we dealt with the organogram under my leadership after I got appointed, because under my leadership, what we did is we took the strategic plan and the annual plan, we started that, and we came together to say, what is the meaning of this in relation to this, the organizational structure, the current one of subs? And we reviewed that. We went to a thorough process